Welcome to episode 30 of the I'm In podcast with my charming co-host.
Here we are. Here we are.
What was your name again?
Mark Nebo.
And you are?
Sarah.
And you are? Sarah Morehead.
Yes.
The keynote here at the 2015 PAStAHCon.
Feedback.
There we go. Got it right there. Is that good? Check. You still can hear us, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is good. The keynote here at the 2015 edition of the Pennsylvania State Atheists and Freethinkers Conference. Gave an awesome speech today. Always like to hear from her. Sarah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks. I appreciate you having me.
Now, since this is a live show, you will hear people in the crowd, right? Crowd. And I probably will be talking more than normal because something about being at a conference makes me talk more. But we're going to kick it over to Aron to get going.
And just to let you guys know that the background noise that you hear is the Pennsylvania, that's PA, State, that's ST, Atheists and Humanists, that's AH. Together they spell PAStAHCon.
It makes sense.
So, Sarah, I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to?
Not much. I've been knitting, crocheting. Just bored, really.
Does you have any hobbies?
I really haven't found anything to do at all. And there's just a couple little things that I'm working on. So one of them, we've got a PAStAHCon next weekend, which we're very excited about. It'll be in Dallas. We got Penn and Teller coming out, whole litany of awesome speakers. Some of them are here this weekend, too. There's another thing I do with Recovering from Religion. It's a cool organization, and I think you just had somebody from our org on your show the other day, which was really awesome. And then there's this other little thing I'm working on. It's called the Reason Rally. I don't know if anybody's heard of that. A little bit, you have? Fantastic. That's great. So, other than that, bored silly.
That's all. Oh, and kids.
I do have kids. That's true. Yes.
Gang of kids.
Yeah, I was glad that I talked to Neil Carter from your organization a couple nights ago, and one of the things that surprised me was that I got such positive feedback from that interview, even from Christians.
Right.
I had people saying this was a great show, and I'm a Christian.
Right.
So it's rare that I can fail to offend someone.
And I have no doubt you put in every effort imaginable. It's interesting because everything that we're doing with Recovering from Religion really is about creating a safe place to have those conversations. And because we come from a background of inerrant word, fundamentalism, that kind of thing, we are able to talk to people in a way that makes sense to them. And one of the things that Neil was talking about on the show the other day was that we speak Baptist, which is the best way to put it. We know how to word things in a way that when we're talking to religious people, it's non-threatening to them, and they'll hear us in a way that they wouldn't have heard other people who didn't come from that background. So it's just an interesting way to approach it, and it's something nobody else has done before. So we've had a lot of success with that.
Very good. Mark.
And tell us, is the fundraiser still going?
The fundraiser is still going. So what he's talking about, we had a fundraiser going. We were trying to raise $8,000 to be able to contract with Neil for 3 months. And it went incredibly well. We met the goal very, very quickly within just a few days. And Neil has basically said, so it was a 30-day fundraiser, and Neil has said everything raised through the 30 days over the amount that we are contracting with him for, he is donating back to Recovering from Religion to support our programs. So if people want to help our effort and keep Recovering from Religion going, help us pay for the Hotline Project, all that really cool stuff, you can go to our website and donate. And I think we've got like another week left.
And how much is on it right now?
I believe we're at 18,000.
I think it might be more than
Is it more than that?
It's a little more than that.
I'm a little sleep deprived. It might be 20.
Well, it's a little more than that.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think it's somewhere in that neck of the woods.
I need to look.
But the point being, that's more than what Neil was going to be working for. So that's all going right back to Recovering from Religion.
It is. He won't take it. So.
Yeah, he won't take it. He won't take it. But we've had a couple people talk at the conference about Recovering from Religion, about the Hotline Project, and it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the most important things that we have going. We've all been there, whether we had a very smooth and uneventful, woke up one day and said, oh, this is a bunch of horseshit moment, or if we had a tumultuous, fiery exit from religion, we've all kind of been at that moment where we think, now what do I do? And how do I start my life again? And that's what recovering religion is doing for everybody. So
because it's
great.
a funny thing that it never happens that you point out to somebody, you know, there's no God, right? And they say, oh, really? Oh, my bad. I thought there was.
Right.
It's never that easy.
Really haven't seen that happen.
Oh,
exactly.
great.
I mean, for myself, it was a period of it was actually a period of years, and I didn't have anybody doing a concentrated effort on me. And maybe it would have been easier if somebody did, but I mean, it took me a long time to go from believing in the standard dogma that I was given and step by step remove all the little bits of it until finally I'm done with all the faith-based beliefs altogether.
Right.
I had to systematically isolate all of them.
Right. And that's really challenging. And then when you add in the emotional component, when you've been taught from day one that religion is inherent to your identity and you're not to separate the two, then as you're walking away from religious beliefs, it becomes very challenging to then figure out who you are outside of the confines of faith. And so that's part of what we do is help people find a community and networks and support so that they're able to kind of rediscover themselves, you know, beyond what religion has defined already for them.
And some of those religious groups also make that a more difficult process.
Absolutely.
By absorbing all of your family, your friends, your job opportunities, and all of that, so that you really are ostracized when you try to break away.
Exactly.
Let's talk real quick before we move on to the nature at hand that we all want to hear about. Let's talk
This
a
is
little.
what everyone wants to hear.
Everybody wants to hear about this, but we know.
There might be one more thing?
We know what's
Okay,
going on.
fair enough.
Tell us real quick about the state chapters and Neil and what he's going to be doing.
Sure. So I'm really excited. Neil's background, well, first of all, so all of us in leadership at Recovering from Religion have come from some sort of fundamentalist background, and most of us have had roles in ministry or in church and that kind of thing. So Neil comes from basically a church planting background, and he worked on small group development and home churches in ministry, and that was just what he did. So what he's doing for Recovering from Religion is taking over our local groups. We have chapters that meet monthly all over the world, and he's going to be basically putting everybody together into a cohesive program that is very similar to our Hotline project, where we've got, you know, training programs in place and support networks for our facilitators, all that, to be able to grow the groups and then expand them beyond our current count. So that's going to be really exciting. And then the other part of it is he's going to be working on some donor development to help get Recovering from Religion to a point that we're very sustainable and not an all-volunteer force. We've got to move to a professional paid staff.
Sure.
Right now we are all volunteers except for Neil, and his goal is to change that.
That's awesome. Any large organization that's doing, you know, thousands and thousands of hours of work, you know, eventually needs to be able to make that their full-time thing if they want to go to the next level.
Exactly.
So, what can you tell us, and what can't you tell us about the reason?
That was clever. What can't I tell him? Let me give you the list of all the things I can't tell you. So I can tell you that the Reason Rally is going to be in 2016 on June 4th. It's actually going to span 4 days. It's going to be a Thursday through Sunday event. Yes, it's very exciting. It'll culminate on June 4th on that Saturday, and we're going to be on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Last time we were at the Washington Monument, and so this time we're across the mall over at the Lincoln. It is absolutely beautiful. It's really exciting. There was something surreal about standing on the Lincoln the last time I was in DC and looking out across the entire lawn and realizing how many of these awesome people are going to be there. It was really cool. We've got some great speakers already lined up. Paul Provenza is coming back to help host. We're very excited to have him on board. We have Richard Dawkins. We have Eugenie Scott, who is a very well-known scientist. She's amazing. We have Cara Santa Maria is going to be on the stage, as well as Science Babe. If anybody's familiar with her work, she's been taking on some food bloggers and some pseudoscience and all that, and she does really good stuff. We've got James Randi is back on board as he was last time. So we've got a lot of really cool people, and we've got a lot of people in the works that we just haven't quite finalized them just yet, and those are the people I can't talk about.
Right.
But they're going to be really exciting too. And so we've just got a lot going on. It's going to be great.
What? So, a 4-day thing. Mm-hmm. What other kind of things are we talking about here?
So one of the things we're putting together are secular-focused tours of the DC area. Right now, like anytime you're going to DC, there's a ton of really cool tourist stuff. And all of the museums on the mall, all the Smithsonian museums, those are all free. So it's very cost effective. All of our hotels and everything are going to be right there on the mall, very, very close to it. But we wanted to bring an element of, our population of people, the people who are coming to DC to be a part of the Reason Rally. We're going to give them that opportunity to get tours that are focused specifically to what we like to talk about, the non-religious aspects of our government and of our history, and how all of that came together. So that's something we're working on. And then we're also working on advocacy training, which is essentially being able to connect all of these awesome people, the tens of thousands of people that are going to show up, and help them be able to make noise that is heard on the Capitol. So all of our representatives, who are all of your employees, are going to be able to understand that this is a group of people who have a lot to say, and we want to be heard. And we're going to teach you guys how to do that.
How much noise is this going to make in the media this time around?
We're hoping a lot. But we can't control the media, obviously. But some of the speakers that we're hoping to be able to bring on, that's something that should get some interesting attention. And without question, that goes back to the numbers. If we are a driving force with a ton of people showing up saying we want to be taken seriously, they're going to take notice.
Yeah. So any volunteer promotion would certainly be useful. I mean, the last time we did this, it's like the media tried to avoid us. I know that there were some reporters there, but if you look it up now, it's like Seth Andrews put up like the best video of the event.
Seriously an amazing video.
Yeah.
It's on our website. It's wonderful. But yeah, without question, it's definitely something we hope to be able to get some attention with. But we can't control that. We're going to do the best we can. Really, a whole part of this is what I'm trying to do is create a platform so that all of these organizations that are a part of the Reason Rally Coalition have the opportunity to have their voice heard to all of the attendees that are going to show up. And all the attendees are then able to find the organizations that best fit their interests, and then figure out how they can go back home and get involved and take action in their communities.
No, the last event was so great to attend that. It was such an epic thing that, of course, I want to encourage everybody to talk about it with everybody that might be interested.
Absolutely.
And even the people that want to protest it, anybody, and just make as much noise and get as much attention as possible, because I can't understand how 30,000 atheists can gather for a historic event like that, and then most of the news media were like,
we're hoping to certainly get their attention this time around. That's for sure.
A couple more things. If people want to get involved, how do they get involved?
So we're going to be putting a volunteer form on the website so that people can register to help us put the event together. Obviously, we have a lot of work ahead of us in the next year, but then we're going to need a lot of boots on the ground on site as well. Matt was talking earlier about everybody using their talents to help out the movement and help out organizations. This is one way to do that. The other way is honestly financial support. If you go to our website, we're a 501c3. You can donate to support the Reason Rally and all of our efforts. We need as much help as we can get. A lot of people are donating their time to make this happen, but there are people, talent, equipment. There's just expenses that exist that we can't get around, and so we're going to need help with that as well. We're getting a lot of requests for people to want to speak at the rally. So I will say we're going to have a form on the website for if people are interested in recommending a speaker, or if they want to apply to be a speaker, they'll be able to fill that out as well. So we're going to try to streamline all of this. The other thing, really, at this point, we've got the first hotel is up on the website, and the rooms are going fast. The rates are fantastic. It's like $139 a night at the beginning of June on the mall in DC. So it's really good rates, and they're going quick. So if you're going, get your room, because they will go fast. And then we're going to open up new hotels as soon as these fill up.
And only like 6 people can stay with Shannon and I. So that's not enough. So who's on the team right now? Who's leading this
So
charge?
we have a lot of people working on this. I'm the one that obviously I'm getting to talk about this a little bit more just in venues like this. But we have a board of, I think, 14 people. But these are all representatives of national organizations all over the country. They're wonderful, and they're putting in their best efforts to be a part of this. My vice president is David Tamayo from the Hispanic American Freethinkers. My treasurer is Shanon Nebo, who I think you're familiar with her.
That's why I asked.
She's a really cute baby. So looks kind of like him, oddly enough, but weird. He's adorable. And no, we have, I literally couldn't list everybody. There's so many people helping this come together. I get a lot of people who ask me, how do you do this, Sarah? I do it because I don't do it all myself. I have awesome teams of people. The same with PAStAHCon, the same with Recovering from Religion. People put in a lot of work to help all of this stuff come together. And in line with what Matt was saying before, if we all bring a chair to the table, then we're going to have enough, hands on deck to go around. So everybody can pitch in and be a part of it.
One of the things I find remarkable about this movement is the way that people are driven.
Mm-hmm.
That they want to change the world for the better. And so when I hear about some celebrated person that people might want to speak and they want tens of thousands of dollars, I'm wondering, like, aren't you down with the movement? I mean,
I don't think it's quite that simple, though. I mean, like, when you're looking, there's some people who, that's, let's put it this way. There's when you get to a certain level of demand, and it's just the way business works. I found that a lot of the pricier celebrities, for lack of a better term, the reason they set their price points where they do is in order to weed out everybody they just don't have time to say yes to. It's just not as simple as saying, okay, I'll show up for $500, even if they've got a ton of money or whatever. When they set a certain price point, it's so that they can actually get legitimate offers that are going to appeal to what they need to be able to do and the message they're trying to send out. So it's weird. Like, I completely get it from an organization standpoint. I'm trying to bring people in for as affordable as possible to keep all the costs low. But at the same time, from a business management standpoint, I get it. I mean, they have to charge money to show up. A lot of these people do, and that's just the way it is. I will say, without question, everybody we've worked with to date is doing everything they can to make it as affordable as possible. And I really appreciate that. So even the ones that we haven't signed them yet or anything, they're certainly going out of their way to accommodate what they know is, something that's got to operate on budget.
So everyone you've talked with so far, or at least people you've signed or you're negotiating with at this point, they're motivated for the cause?
Oh, without question. I mean, they're absolutely motivated. It's not as simple as just having everybody show up for free either, unfortunately. So that's just the way it is.
So reasonrally.org.
Yeah.
Right? Facebook, Twitter.
Yep. All of it's just Reason Rally.
Yeah,
keep it very simple.
Yeah, get on there.
I can't complicate
spread
things.
the
I'll
word.
get confused.
I mean, if you want to help, sign up with the volunteer forum, but just sharing it and telling people about it. Last time, sharing pictures, tagging people in pictures. All that
Hashtag
stuff.
Reason Rally 2016 is our hashtag.
All that stuff is gonna make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, and thanks to Brian and everybody who put this awesome conference together. This is going great. Glad to be here.
This is a very well-organized conference.
It is, absolutely.
Brian is awesome. Speaking of Brian, he's next.
Is he?
He gets to sit where you are.
Yay for Brian.
So,
all right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it.
We'll get Brian up here real quick. I wanted to mention, again, now that we're recording, the Barroom Atheist podcast. I don't know if any of you listen to it or have listened to it. Clap. Anybody? It's a great program. The time that Bill and Susie take out of their life to make this product and make a difference in people's lives, because people listen to it, and it's an excellent show. Google Barroom Atheist. It's all over. You can get it on Stitcher, iTunes, on their website. Shanon and I have been on the show. It's a great show, and they let us use their equipment up here. So just wanted to say thanks to that. So let's get Brian up here. Come on up, Brian.
I can help it all when you know.
Do what?
I can help it all when you know.
Absolutely. Brian is... that's just a good sentence right there. Brian is the president of PA Non-Believers, which was, I was thinking about it today, the third Be Secular affiliate ever. So they've been with Be Secular for a long time, which is great. He's also, I believe, the president, Secular Coalition of America.
No, co-chair.
The co-chair.
My co-chair with me, Scott Rhodes, is also the co-founder of the conference.
Right.
And
Scott and Brian have been rocking out this conference. I don't know where Scott is. Clap for Scott, anyway. Scott's been doing a good job. Brian's been doing a great job. Brian, tell us a couple things you said today that you're not going to have a conference next year.
No. We've decided that the timing of events like, there's a little one I think you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. We think that the time that and money and effort that everybody would spend to come out to our conference would be better put aside and used to do whatever you could possibly do to get yourself to Washington, D.C. on June 4th.
And as a representative of American Atheists, I want to say also the American Atheists has kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
So we're not doing a national convention at that time either. Same reason.
Yeah.
We want to get as many people out to the Reason Rally as possible.
And that goes along, and I was just going to say that. I'm glad you brought it up. Thinking about the fact that American Atheist isn't having a conference to save you enough money to go to the Reason Rally, you got to fucking go to the
Because
Reason
you know what
Rally.
bastards we are.
I mean, that's just how it works.
Speaking of which, how did I get this and you got this?
I've been drinking that same whiskey for 3 hours.
Let me show you how to do it. Can somebody fix this for me?
Somebody bring
Somebody want to run up to McClay and get him a drink?
Yeah, come on.
It doesn't take 3 hours to drink such a small glass. Let me show you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, Brian, give us a little bit. Start last year and give us the 3-minute how you get from last year in Pittsburgh to this year in Harrisburg.
Well, yeah. Okay, so actually we had a couple things we started doing actually right after Pittsburgh. We start hotel search. We figure out I don't know. There's a little fundraiser we're doing, but I guess we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
We get that together. You sign contracts. You find speakers. You figure out which speakers are going to be coming. You contact them. You make agreements. You wheel. You deal. You beg. You borrow. You steal.
And that sounds super boring.
Yeah.
I wanted you to say all those things, so it sounded boring. So everybody realizes all the crap you have to go through to run a conference. And then you see the finished product, and it's been a great conference. You run an awesome conference.
I can't. I mean, I honestly, I
Hold
can't
on.
take.
I know it wasn't just you.
Yes.
Before
and
you
I wanna
deflect,
be
like you always do, and tell everybody else how awesome everybody else was. Scott was awesome. The rest of the gang was awesome. The hotel was awesome. The tables were awesome. The vendors were awesome. Brian, just say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You did a really good job.
I like the waiters too. They were the type that were, but of course.
Yeah, they were good. The waiters were good. One of the awesomest things about this conference in general, not every year, just this year, is the Atheists Fight Hunger.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Last year, actually much earlier than that, Matthew Martin from a group called Outreach End Hunger Northeast reached out to me and said, and he made the suggestion, he said, if you're going to have a conference and you're going to have speakers and you're going to have people come out and you're going to have a good time, that's all well and good. But there's also a lot of good we can do for the community. And if you're going to get all of these people in one place, why not do something with that? And he told me about the program that they're doing, and they've worked with the Harvard Humanists before, and so what they do is for every 25 cents that you you gather, pledge, whatever, they will give you one meal. So for every 25 cents you raise, that's one meal for one person. So when we decided we were going to do the fundraiser this year, I reached out to him and I said, okay, I think we're ready to do it. So let's go ahead and do it this year. We started fundraising November of last year or so, and we had a bunch of donations, and of course, whenever you do a long-running fundraiser, there's the initial announcement where people do a bunch of donations and then it kind of peters off. So It's hard to keep the energy going for a full year. But there were spikes. We had some money coming in. I have to say the action that really took it over the finish line. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was all kinds of bloggers, podcasters. You guys helped us out.
Yeah.
Thinking Atheist helped us out. Dogma Debate helped us out. There was just a whole bunch of people who were.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. But I was talking with my friend Austin Cooper at the Secular Coalition about the project, and she took it over to Steph at the RDF, the Richard Dawkins Foundation.
Jackpot.
Yeah. Then so they posted it on their page, and we actually our goal was $5,000. They raised us by posting a link on their page. They raised us $2,000 in 24 hours.
There you go. That's the power of social media.
Yes.
I mean, we're talking about sharing stuff for Reason Rally, and because with Be Secular and the pages that I kind of all right, time out. Or wait a second. What happened here?
Bartender said that would put hair on your chest.
Well, at least you got beer that's the right color.
You got a lot of whiskey. That's good job.
They can only serve double shots after 11.
That's horseshit. That's horseshit. But the power of social media is so great, guys. It's not just you going on there and looking what X Flames are doing or whatever you do. You can really make an impact from your desk by yourself simply by liking and resharing and commenting on stuff. Now, we don't have a million followers like the Richard Dawkins Foundation, but just sharing it with your friends is going to make an impact. It's really, it's a really big deal, and you could testament. I mean, all the
absolutely.
donations came by way of social media sharing for the most part.
Well,
this is Thirsty Dog Old Leg Humper, isn't it?
You didn't tell me.
That's what it is.
Let me taste it.
drink break.
Tastes like Guinness to me.
But it's smoked.
Still good. So, yeah, damn, that's good. That is good. It's not quite as heavy as Guinness, but this isn't a drinking podcast.
We actually we did raise the vast majority through social media, through GoFundMe. We had a local fundraiser. We raised a bit, and also the Foundation Beyond Belief gave us a grant towards the project as well.
500, I think.
250.
Like 250.
Yeah. But even still, most of the money raised was $5, $10, $20 at a time. Right. We raised total after GoFundMe fees and all that stuff. The grand total was $5,704.50.
And that feeds?
And that feeds 22,858 people.
Outstanding.
To put that in terms of all of us being barricaded in a room, we could eat for like a week probably on that. That's a lot of food.
It's a funny thing that I remember seeing a minister give a sermon at his own church where he described his own religious belief as a delusion, right? And he said that if we were right, he said, then there would be no reason to end suffering, no reason to prolong life, no reason to keep breathing. If what you do today isn't still crucially important 5 billion years from now, then it's not important today either. It was the most morose worldview I could imagine.
Right.
And here you are with no fear of hell
You
doing
bastard.
this. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, tomorrow at the conference, we're hopefully going to have plenty of volunteers who can stick around. All of you, I'm looking at everybody in this room. You're all staying tomorrow, right?
And everybody that watches this tomorrow, will come too.
Okay, so we're going to form 6 meal lines, and we're going to have the experts from the organization come in and help do a quick training session, and then it's going to take about 2 hours of your time. And as we get going, we will be able to finish in about 2 hours, 22,858 meals.
Guys, that's crazy. That's a crazy amount of food.
And even if none of that matters in a million years, it still matters tomorrow.
It matters.
tomorrow.
It matters.
Absolutely. Very good point, Aron.
It matters most to the people who are going to have something to eat, and that's
Right.
really what's important.
Right. Brian, thanks for coming on. Thanks for making a great conference. Thanks for being a friend. I
No,
appreciate
you make it easy.
Yeah, sweet. I do. I make it easy. All right. We're the next guest we're going to bring up, Chris Johnson from the Atheist book. Some people are calling it. Some people are calling it what it actually is called, which is A Better Life. The book turned into a movie, and we're going to talk to Chris. Thanks, Brian, for coming up, and
Thank you.
We'll talk to you later.
How do you do, sir? How the hell are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm not drinking as much as everybody else, but I should be.
Get this man some heroin.
I know, right? Yeah.
Old leg humper.
Yeah, Chris Johnson is a guy that I.
I'm a guy.
You're
Yeah.
a guy. Step one. But I really grew to care about you and know you last year at this conference. So that tells you how many people you can meet at conferences and how things can grow. But over the last year, you've been changing your awesome book into an awesome documentary. Tell us about the documentary, where people can find it, what it contains versus what the book contains. Just give us a little rundown of what you've been doing for the last year.
Well, it's been a crazy time. It's been a lot of running around, but it's been amazing. So I did, I've been working on this for about 3 years, right? So what I wanted to do was add a new dimension to the conversation we're having about atheism, because at least much of what we were seeing before was simply talking about what we don't believe in, arguments against the existence of God, which is important to talk about, but I feel we were also missing what we do believe in. When you strip away God, what's left, right? How, does that change how you see
Old
your
leg
life?
humper.
Right, apparently, yeah.
But I want to answer that question. When you strip away God from reality, what's left is reality.
Right.
Oh.
Right. And so how does that make you, how does that change you? How does that affect your life? And so I wanted to explore that. I want to explore these issues, these positive issues of joy and meaning and purpose in the lives of atheists. So I did a book, a coffee table photography book, which is available at theatheistbook.com. We sold out here, although we're getting 5 more copies tomorrow. So if you want it, come
Those
early.
aren't going to last. If you
Yeah.
want one, you're going to have to get it by like 9:30. Seriously.
I did this coffee table book, and I interviewed all the people for the book, and I filmed the interviews. So I turned those interviews into a documentary film, which we showed last night.
How many people are in the book?
100.
100 even.
Yes.
And how many are in the documentary?
17.
Why did some people, like Aron?
I feel a lot better now.
It's the first thing.
You knew we were going to ask
I
this.
know. The
Why
first
did
thing.
Aron get cut?
Just to say, I haven't seen Aron in like 2 years. The first thing out of his mouth is, "Why was I not in the movie?"
In the book, not in the movie, must be a reason. Chris Johnson, go.
Yeah. Whoa, on the spot. If it would be a 9-hour movie,
Right,
it'd be
I
a
understand.
15-hour movie. It's just you have to make cuts, and I only kept in the people that I liked.
It's easy for me. Oh, yeah. I just say, I say, I understand. It's easy for me to say I understand. I wasn't in either. So it's
I
simple.
know.
You're-
I don't even know why you have me on right now.
I like you. I think you're a good guy. And I love the
To
project.
show there's no hard feelings.
Right, exactly. we watched a movie today, and it's awesome, first of all.
Thank you.
And I don't, not awesome like, not awesome like the book. Awesome as in all the work that goes into something like that. Like you made a comment during the question and answer session, and I thought it was hilarious. I just want to talk about it again. You said when you're filming a movie and you have to do a very mundane task, like just walk across for 4 seconds to make it look like you're really doing something.
Yeah.
That's kind of the maddening part of it. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, filmmaking is weird. Anybody who's a filmmaker will tell you filmmaking is a very strange thing.
We have probably several out
Yeah.
here.
Any filmmakers here? Yeah. anybody. Well, if there were filmmakers here, they would agree with me that filmmaking can be a very weird thing, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and just being able to change the conversation and add something new. I'm just thrilled to be able to be here again in Pennsylvania to do that.
I'm in like 7 or 8 movies. Only 2 of them I've seen, and only 1 of them I speak in.
And 3 of them he's naked.
I've seen all those.
You remember the one where they follow Lawrence Krauss and Richard Dawkins around like
Yeah,
Australia?
the Unbelievers. Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, I'm like just off camera in like 3 scenes. And it's so irritating. My wife is in the movie. My sons are in the movie. There's a beautiful shot where my sons, both wearing long hair and trench coats, are standing immediately behind Lawrence Krauss. They look like his bodyguards. Camera missed me completely.
Well, the camera didn't miss Alondra, and we're happy for that. So we talked. Another question came up in the question and answer is, what's next? What's the next thing?
I don't know. I'm doing a screening tour until the end of the year, so I'm traveling around showing the film at various places all over the world, continuing that, which I'm thrilled to be able to, provide this film in venues across the world. And I don't know what's coming up after that.
I want to know about the feedback that you're getting from the audience, and of course, not just what the unbelievers are telling you. What are you getting from everyone else?
The reaction has been really great. For unbelievers in particular, they are happy that there is something new. It's not the same old thing we've always seen. It's fresh and different and life-affirming. And for religious people, I think they often don't necessarily know what to think of it because it's not combative in the same way that they're used to seeing atheists being. And so, which I do want to say, I think that is an important part of the conversation too.
Yeah.
I'm not here to say we shouldn't be combative, because I think we should in many ways, right? And we need to be on the offense and we need to be on the defense. But I also feel like we do need this aspect as well, because that's important. But I feel that they oftentimes don't necessarily know what to make of it, because it's not saying necessarily that, that they're stupid or that they're idiots.
They don't have fodder to attack.
Right. So they're just there was an evangelist when I showed the film in Peru. There was an evangelist who came to the screening, and everybody that was with the organization in Peru said, "Oh, there's this well-known Peruvian evangelist in the audience." And you know what he said after the film? He came up to me and he said, "Thank you very much for having me."
That's it.
That was it.
Now, I of course, am very confrontational with a lot of believers. There's the
don't
guy,
say.
like I said, who said that his belief is a delusion, right? And then we have other people who misrepresent our position or dishonestly, produce dishonest arguments.
Right.
And I react when I sense dishonesty.
Yeah.
But I'm learning not to consider these people stupid, because remember what I used to believe. For the longest time, my honest religion was Jedi. And I really believed that.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Jedi, huh?
No, I'm serious. Okay, like when Obi-Wan Kenobi describes the Force as an energy field that surrounds all living things, it surrounds us, penetrates us, binds the galaxy together. Read the Tao Te Ching. Because Jedi was based on Taoism. Now, if I'd read the Tao Te Ching at that point, I would have been Taoist. But, I'd never heard anything from any religious person that made sense until I heard Obi-Wan. And I'm like, I associate with that. That sounds good to me. But then there was other aspects of it. Like spirituality was supposed to be, imagine you have a clay figure, right? And you have water, you add to the clay to make it malleable. Well, this is life, right? And then when that life ends, the water evaporates out of it, becomes back into the hydrosphere, and the clay just becomes dirt, ashes to ashes, dust to dust kind of thing. So this is kind of the way I was looking at life. Life infuses organic material and makes it come alive, right? Well, this is fine until you take biology. And then you realize that, well, none of that is necessary or makes sense. But if you haven't taken biology, it might make sense. And so as a kid, this is honestly what I thought. Everybody told me that there was conclusive proof of psionic ability or living energy or Kirlian photography, spirit photography, ectoplasm. All these things were expected to be fact, because I was foolish enough to watch American science documentaries, and that's what they taught.
On the History Channel.
History in quotation.
Yeah.
figures,
Where I first found out about the reptiles from the Sirius star system who've infiltrated our government in human guise.
Oh, that, yes.
Ectoplasm like Slimer? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it was thought to be a real thing.
Oh, man.
Mainstream, United States mainstream, because they watch what they think is science. And in my, I was 12 years old. I was watching In Search Of. It starred Leonard Nimoy.
Right.
Everything he said sounded logical.
That's his trick. That's an old Vulcan trick.
Yeah.
Everything sounds logical.
And I really believed it. I actually did, because I was a kid, and I'm thinking they would show it on TV if it wasn't real.
Right.
But then, I'm serious. I mean, it was a science
That's a
documentary.
terrible
Why would you
idea.
make up something for a science documentary?
It's on TV after
on
all.
TV,
It couldn't be
yeah.
made up.
It
Yeah.
has to be real. I saw it on TV. Wag the dog.
So, Chris, how much longer is the tour going to go?
Tour is scheduled until the end of December.
And then, is there plans for it to be on like Amazon Prime or Netflix?
It's streaming now on my website. People can get it on my website, theatheistbook.com. Streaming,
Bing.
HD download, DVD, and they can get the book there as well. And when they get the book, they get the film for free.
So, at this point, no like
book is
commercial
better.
streaming situation in the works.
There's streaming on my website.
I'm talking about where people. I mean, if people want to go to your website, great, do it.
They should.
But I'm asking
Everybody
about-
should go right now.
Have you investigated? Do you know the feasibility of trying to get it onto like Amazon Prime or something?
Amazon Prime's a little easier. Netflix is hard just because of the popularity now of Netflix. They're really vetting stuff. They didn't used to always do that. A couple years ago, you could get anything on there, but it's a bit harder now.
You can try it on TV. I understand they don't bet anything on TV. Just let anything on.
They let
Right,
Ted
exactly.
Cruz talk on there. So.
Yes. Yeah. It's yeah.
Talking about the digital download.
Yeah.
They just go on your website. About how big is the file? How long does it take to download? Do you know that? Have any idea about that?
The file is 2 gigs. How long it takes depends on what.
Depends on your
connection-
speed of your browser.
Yeah.
And your bandwidth. I saw a downloaded version of it. HD. It's very good. Saw it again today. Loved it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
What you're doing is important for all the reasons you said. But I'm looking forward to if you're here tomorrow, get the rest of the books. I mean they're $30 here.
$30. Yeah.
That is the cheapest I've seen them. So get them. Okay. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
So, Aron, we got a couple minutes left. A lot of times we do the hangouts. If you don't know, we have supporters that support our show. It's $3.99 a month. They go into the Ramen. That's THERA-MEN.com. You can sign up. And we have a private hangout after our show every time, which we have people that pop in. They get to visit with the guests. It's an awesome thing. I mean, you got Sean Carroll on there, you got Robert Price on there, and you get to actually ask some questions. That's a pretty good deal. We got a private.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. I mean, I've interviewed Frank Zindler, D.M. Murdoch, David Fitzgerald, Richard Carrier. I mean, I've interviewed everybody that insists that Jesus never existed.
Yeah, that's kind of our thing. But you sign up, you be a supporter, you get to do all that stuff. We're not going to be doing that today, obviously. But one of the things we like to talk about in the hangout afterwards that people don't get to hear typically unless they're a supporter is what's next for you. So let's talk about that a little bit right now.
All right. Well, real briefly, I mean, this is I've only got one more speaking gig this year, and it's not next month. I mean, normally I've been speaking at least once a month for the last few years, and I get a bit of a break. I don't have the next thing until like mid-November. I'm 2/3 of the way through my book, and I'm determined to have it finished by the end of the year. So the Foundational Falsehoods of Creation will be out in book form. It'll at least be in the hands of the final editors, by January, and I expect then I have another speaking gig in India.
But okay, where was that, and how did that come about?
They've got there's a World Atheist Convention annually in Vijayawada, India, and I've been asked to go there and a number of other
pretty
places.
Cool. And I understand you're going back to Europe next year. Is that true?
Yes, I was asked to go to Belfast, Glasgow, London, Warsaw, Helsinki, maybe Stockholm, and Reykjavik, and Amsterdam.
Tough life, friend.
It's hard.
It's a tough life.
And then Russia.
Jeez.
Well, Moscow.
I was just going to say how I'm going to be emceeing the Carolina Secular Conference in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, in Saskatoon.
And you just keep powering through.
I forgot. I got Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Montreal, Toronto, and Regina. I'm done.
Good for you. Good for you. The Carolina Secular Conference is important to me. Shannon's going to be speaking there. I'll be emceeing there. It's going to be in Myrtle Beach in October, the first week in October. I don't know if any of you will be going to that. Anybody? Bill? All right. Barroom Atheists will be there. But that's the only thing we got coming up. Shannon's working hard on the Reason Rally. She's a treasurer, but she's doing a lot. She's doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and it's important to get the word out about the Reason Rally. I don't have much else to say. Did you have anything else you want to say?
No, I'm done. I really appreciate being at this conference.
Yeah.
It's just been a good time. It's
Me
well
too.
put together. I appreciate all of these. I mean, it's a funny thing. I don't have much communication with my family. I've had friends before I became an activist. They're few now, and there's very little we can talk about.
Right.
So, I mean, my entire circle of influence really is the people at these conferences.
Yeah, it's we value everybody. Thanks for coming out to the show. Please clap while I go up and turn the thing off the video, and then we'll stop. That's how we're going to end this.
Thank you, Harrisburg. Good night. We love you.